Dr. David Tuffley is a cybersecurity expert from Griffith University. David, thanks for joining me.
My pleasure. Thanks, Ben.
And so what do we know about the customer data that was compromised in this Qantas hack?
We know that the data was actually from a supplier, a direct supplier to Qantas, the call centre that handles Qantas's work. And that call centre only had people's names, addresses, phone number, frequent flyer number and email address. They didn't need to have, and they did not have credit card details, passport numbers or anything really sensitive like that. So whilst it's bad enough that people's names and addresses and so on are out there on the dark web, there's no danger that their credit card details were compromised in this particular attack.
And so in terms of, I guess, how you would stack this up against other previous hacks that we've seen in recent years, the ones that come to mind, of course, are Optus and Medibank Private. How would you compare this latest incident with Qantas?
It's of a similar order. We're talking 6 million records, an awful lot of, that's how many customers Qantas have now, we know. But essentially, there is a business reason. Cyber criminals use big data breaches like this to accumulate enough data from multiple breaches, like Optus, like Medibank Private, like others, to sort of aggregate the data to create a fairly complete identity for somebody. And it's then used in something called a credential stuffing attack, where the cyber crook poses as a person with pretty complete personal information, all of the things I just mentioned before, plus other details, that they can then impersonate people by phoning the bank, by phoning their telco, saying, oh, I lost my phone, I need a new, I bought a new phone, I need a new SIM. They'll get a whole bunch of validation questions, but the cyber crooks may well have enough information to satisfy the telco, satisfy the bank, to be able to then change passwords, change account details, that sort of thing. So it's part of a long game. There wouldn't have been any direct benefit to the cyber crooks on this particular attack, but the records, the 6 million records that they've got, is certainly worth quite a lot of money on the dark web. And, for sure, it'll be up for sale there pretty soon, I would say.
And so I'm a Qantas customer. I'm sure that my email address and frequent flyer number and potentially mobile phone number was among the data that was compromised. What can I do? What should I do?
Yeah, well, mine too. And there's really nothing you need to do directly, like change passwords. All of that is still safe with Qantas, who incidentally are known to be pretty solid from a cybersecurity point of view. But what we should all watch out for are renewed scam emails, text messages, phone calls, that sort of thing, all of which will have one thing in common. They'll say, we have discovered some sort of weakness in your accounts and we need you to do something straight away. It'll try to create a manufactured sense of urgency. It'll try to get people emotionally stirred up, and when you're emotional, you're not thinking logically, and then they'll hit you with a if you don't act right now, you might just lose a lot of money, that type of thing. So the thing that everyone should remember really is that any sort of approach like that out of the blue, even phone calls, don't do what they want you to do. If you're at all concerned, if they're claiming to be the bank or something, hang up on them, call the bank from their, from the number listed on their official website, and double check that it's for real. And 99 times out of 100, or even 999 times out of 1,000, it is going to be a scam. So people fall for it because it might seem like they've got all the right information. They might sound for real, but that's the talent that these people have it's called a social engineering attack, and it's basically just to persuade people or trick them or coerce them into doing something, giving people access, compromising their details. So that's all any of us can do, and the more of these sorts of attacks that happen, the more complete information the cyber crooks are going to have. And, we just all need to be on our guard.
Yeah, absolutely, because they're certainly getting more and more sophisticated as every day passes. Now, we mentioned earlier some of those other high-profile cyber attacks on Optus and Medibank Private, and you'd think that after those, it'd be impossible for anybody to hack a big corporation. They would be taking the absolute best security measures to prevent these types of attacks, but yet they still keep happening. So in your opinion, who do you think needs to do more? Is it the companies, or is it the federal government to assist the companies in the case of these international cyber hacking rings and potentially even state-sponsored hacking?
Yeah, look, this is such a dynamically evolving area. I don't think there's any area, any sector that moves more quickly than this. And so what had not been thought of last week is already happening this week, and defences are being rolled out against them. So it is a constant game of catch up. The good guys are really doing everything they can, and the government have got great resources. The Australian Cybersecurity Centre is a government organisation. I think it's part of the Australian Signals Directorate. They're very capable and very knowledgeable, and they are an excellent resource for anyone wanting to upgrade their cybersecurity. They've got lots of information. So to answer your question, should the government do more? Well, the government has actually been doing quite a lot in this area. They are investing billions of dollars to harden defences against attacks, but also to provide resources for organisations that are under attack so that they can recover. It's things like they recommend, if it's a ransomware attack, don't pay the ransom, because more often than not you won't get your data back. They'll take your money, and it's a double insult, really, because to pay the ransom is really just sustaining the business model of the cyber criminals. But it's not just advice like that, it's all sorts of things. So because it's so rapidly evolving, there's no one answer. It's just it requires constant vigilance, and really in the cybersecurity domain, being proactive is the name of the game. If an organisation has become reactive with their cybersecurity, then it's too late. They are definitely going to get hacked sooner or later. But the ones that manage to fend off the attacks are the ones that are one step ahead, because they have been proactive, they've been looking at the latest threat intelligence, taking measures now before anyone even tries anything. And so that's what a mature cybersecurity organisation looks like. And the vast majority of Australian organisations are very clued in to the need to do this. It's very embarrassing. It was very embarrassing for Optus, for Medibank Private, for everyone to know that they'd been breached. The loss of reputation is almost catastrophic. So, yeah, there's no simple answer to this except constant vigilance and being proactive.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we know, as the old saying goes, that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. And quite often in these corporations, the weakest links are the humans who maybe just accidentally click on a link that they shouldn't in their emails. And it's very hard to guard against that if you're a big corporation.
Exactly
Dr.
right.
David Tuffley, cybersecurity expert from Griffith University, really appreciate your insights on Newsworthy today.
My pleasure. Thanks, Ben.